Hi, welcome back to my channel, Organized with Joy. I'm Joy and I want to inspire you to get organized. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 decluttering tips that might help you if you're struggling to declutter right now. Tip number 1 is to get rid of old things that you are replacing immediately. Don't even think about it. If you are replacing any number of things, whether it's maybe something in your kitchen, perhaps it is a toaster that died, or maybe it's some worn out dishes or whatever it might be, just go ahead and immediately move those items to your donation box without thinking about it, because otherwise that can clutter up your space having multiples of the same item when you keep the old item and the new item. Tip number 2 is don't second guess yourself. Once you've put an item in the box for donation, go ahead and leave it there. Don't revisit it again. I know that this can be really hard for some people, and if you are unsure about it from the get-go, I would suggest having a separate box of items that you might want to keep and have a specific location for that box. And then after an allotted amount of time, usually it's 6 months, you can go back and see if you missed those items and then immediately get rid of them. But for the most part, I suggest not second guessing yourself. There was probably a reason why you had the gut instinct to declutter the item, so I suggest just leaving it in that donation box. Tip number 3 is to not declutter other people's items. These items don't belong to you, and so you're not responsible for them. You don't have to make decisions about decluttering other people's items, whether that is your spouse or maybe your children or someone else who's living with you. You are not responsible for their items, and so they need to make those decisions. David?
Yeah?
Can I throw away this ball? This Texas miniature basketball for the pool.
Yeah.
It looks like it's in bad shape, and we still have this one. Okay. It can be really hard when there are items that you think should be decluttered, but they want to continue holding on to. But I really believe it's very important for each individual to declutter their own items, because otherwise you risk having some tension in the relationship or having them bring more things back into the space once you've gotten rid of their items that they didn't want to be decluttered. Tip number 4 is to start with really easy things to declutter. Don't start with sentimental items. Sentimental items tend to be very difficult to declutter. So if you start with something easy, for instance, items in your kitchen where you don't have a sentimental attachment, it can cause you to have good momentum going in the decluttering process. And so if you declutter these easier, non-sentimental items, you might get that momentum going. Tip number 5 is to set a timer when you want to do a decluttering project. I think sometimes people resist starting a decluttering project because they think it's going to take a really long time. And it definitely could take a long time depending on the space, but you could also just do it in bite-sized pieces. So setting a timer just lets your mind know that there are parameters, there's a set amount of time that you're gonna work on this, and when that timer goes off, you don't have to declutter any longer, but just getting through a few items is better than not getting through any items at all. So setting a timer will really help you mentally so that you know that you will not be spending an entire day decluttering. The sixth and final tip that I have for you is to have fun and don't overcomplicate decluttering. I don't know if you saw my video where I documented the month-long minimalism game that I played. If you're not familiar with that game, you choose one item on day 1 to get rid of, 2 items on day 2, 3 items on day 3, so on and so forth for an entire month, equaling over 400 items in that month. And it was a great way to declutter because it was like a game. It was more fun way to declutter. A couple other ideas that you could do is perhaps making a family game out of decluttering. If there are items that are family related, maybe it's movies or games, perhaps you could vote on who wants to keep the item and who wants it to go, and the majority wins on that one. Another idea would be to have a race with other family members to see who can fill up a box or a bag the quickest on things to declutter. But certainly there are a lot of creative ways that you can find to declutter that will make it more fun and less stressful. Well, I hope this video gave you some inspiration or ideas on how you can get to decluttering in your home today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing. In addition to this video, I will have a blog post live over on my blog detailing all the information I just shared with you. And at the bottom, there'll be a PDF document, a printable for you of different spaces in your home that you could declutter. So if you're interested in that, you can go check that out over on my blog. I will go ahead and link that blog post in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.